entertainment, a lot like the show like Life After People, which is just an educational show about erosion, but they like sex it up by telling you that like, whoa, the Statue of Liberty fell over because janitors don't exist anymore, like sort of thing. So, like our Earth, Pokemon Earth is like has seemingly gone through multiple geological phases and multiple stages of natural evolution, along with the more sci-fi fantasy Pokemon evolution, right? Because there are extinct animals on Pokemon Earth, and like Pokemon evolution can happen through various means, where that's like a very quick change in an animal's biology and physiology. But like that kind of happens through training or being exposed to magic rocks.
They haven't seen us.
Or like
Keep
being
your guard
in the right
up.
place at the right time, or in some cases passing through a Game Boy Color link cable, right? like a lot of different things can trigger Pokemon evolution because it is very much like a science fantasy universe with a lot of our own stuff, kind of like as a foundation.
I love the idea of like scientists theorizing what it's like to go through a link cable. There's an idea called spaghettification.
You'd have like a Da Vinci diagram where a link cable is like 400 feet long because that is like the only thing that he could imagine. It's just like, well, no, to get an animal to go through this, obviously.
All they see is a dark rectangle, and as you get closer, you approach the singularity, which is copper wire. And
Yeah.
You come out the other side of the wormhole to some guy's Pokedex, and he's named everyone Dick or something like that.
Yeah. The Big Bang is mostly focused around like where we all got our copper wire, right? Like
exactly.
That's how we age stars is their proximity to the copper wire.
Yeah, redshift, like copper is red.
Yeah.
That's it.
More of a chrome beige.
I noticed something while examining this sarcophagus. It's a very convenient location to dispose of nuisances.
You lured me here.
What copper looks like.
Was this your plan all along?
That sounds like
You truly have the wits of a scrap.
Don't let him escape. Someone else get in here. Kill him quick. Okay. He's too scared. Start the trap. Fire. On it. Wary. Shoot it. Won't escape. Catch you.
Yeah, not like a
Will not lose.
sort of thing.
Don't let him escape. Death to the Jedi.
Ecological web.
like Darwin's
Yeah.
finches or whatever.
Yeah, Darwin's executive.
Padawan,
Regional
where is the
variations
Force?
that started with
Everywhere.
Sun and Moon, I wanna
It is
say.
within
implies
me.
evolution.
It surrounds me.
Just so. It
Yeah,
connects you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
There will
are
be
regional
times when
variants where,
emotion,
like, yes, tropical
pain,
executor
or
is
exhaustion
taller and is a different
trick you.
type. It's like grass dragon,
feel
instead
cut
of
off.
grass psychic,
Isolated.
and like
This
musk
is an illusion.
poison dark instead of just.
Your
straight up
lightsaber
poison.
lies there,
So
out of reach,
yes,
but you remain connected through the Force.
regional variants kind of like
Feel
explain
that
evolution
energy
better
around
than
you,
fossil Pokemon do,
and
shocking,
summon
because
your
fossil
weapon.
Pokemon are really more like interesting little like carnival attractions more than anything. Like I guess like through the game, it's just like wow, here's a neat animal that's
Force is
half a
within
billion
you,
years old.
Around you.
What if you could put it like
Connecting you to your
have
weapon.
a cage fight with a rat, sort
Yeah.
of thing. with a modern rat.
Yeah.
So take
Don't
inspiration
let yourself
from,
get discouraged.
From Michael Crichton's.
These ain't your grandma's rats. These are
Yeah.
modern rats.
You must ignore all distractions.
Kid Rock sunglasses, hat on a rat. Hat on a rat. So taking
Force is with
inspiration
me.
from Michael Crichton's
It connects
novel
us.
Jurassic Park, the way to acquire fossil Pokemon is
Yeah,
by
I think so.
using what is called in real science body fossils. These being different from trace fossils, which would be things like footprints or eggshells or poop in most cases, basically. So even like just a fossilized claw is a body fossil, whereas like an eggshell would be a trace fossil. And obviously like a footprint or like a snake would leave like a track in sand that would fossilize is also like a trace fossil.
Okay. So I guess we're saying that Pokemon don't have DNA because the reason why like we can't clone like fossilized remains is because like DNA degrades after like 30 years or so.
Well, there's a whole breeding system, isn't there, where you can get like certain traits to pop up based on their parents. So
yeah, the competitive like eugenics thing for Pokemon is like pretty much. Because if you look at the fossil Pokemon, their percentage is like 80% male, 20% female. That is because for competitive reasons you need female Pokemon because they lay their own eggs. So your father Pokemon will pass on like, different attacks in some cases, and also his positive traits, and then also the mother will pass on her positive traits, but she's the one who lays the egg, so that's the Pokemon you get. So that's why all the starter Pokemon are predominantly male, is to encourage grind and like fake devastation. Yeah, because you top tier Charizard need a female Charmander, and you have like a 20% chance of getting one.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to canonize that in a way. I don't know how to do it yet.
I'm saying more with candidates insurance
I mean, yeah, that's like every aspect of the game.
You survived.
Not part of your plan?
3 out of 4 of
Luckily,
Charmander.
I always allow for contingency.
Yeah, Kanto had a 1 Charmander.
Yeah.
Your birth rate declines.
Yeah.
So cloning these Pokemon is done by different people depending on what game you're playing. The most popular would be the lab on Cinnabar Island, which you guys mentioned either in a different audio track or earlier in this episode, I don't remember.
Yep. Like 30
yeah. This lab blew up between generations 1 and 2, so like red, blue, gold, silver. The volcano on Cinnabar Island erupted and basically incinerated and killed everyone.
Okay, cool. And with it all the cloning tech, or?
It is the in-game explanation as to why Generation 2 did not introduce new fossil Pokemon. Gen 2 and Gen 7 are the only generations of Pokemon not introduced.
Why did they show us that cartoon? All the people running and like being engulfed by magma and like...
Yeah. The entire Pokemon episode where the gang struggles with like a tsunami warning.
Who knew Cinnabar was Pompeii, right?
Yeah.
All the Pokestones running out of that weird building too, like...
Who's the gym leader on Cinnabar Island? He's like encased in magma,
Blake.
like speeding off in a bathroom. Oh, was it Blake?
It's Blaine. That's it.
Blaine.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, no, it's like Blaine.
Come on, let's get him. I got it.
So, just because the
I
Pokemon
knew he would
and
run.
are so similar, we're going to do a little bit of history of the paleontology as
Let's
a
get
science.
him.
Boring.
Kill one of us.
Sorry.
Wait, when this part's done, I want to talk about Pokemon, dude.
Okay. Greek philosopher Xenophanes of Colon.
Come on, Jedi,
which
fight
sounds
us.
like he's the
Did we scare you? Help!
yeah, well, Xenophanes of Colon. He had recognized some of the shell-shaped rocks that he had been finding. That the land he was standing on must have been near or under the ocean, right? Like, he must have been standing on some kind of ancient seabed. I don't really want to destroy anybody's confidence out there, but a man who died 480 years before the birth of Christ, found some shells on the beach, and was totally correct. So, like, what is that recently? Like, straight up, that is exactly what happened.
I mean, it's like, who was it, like Pythagoras, who, like, calculated the circumference of the Earth within, like, it was something ridiculous, like, within a kilometer.
Yeah, the Earth is what? Like, the circumference is like 24,000 kilometers, right? Or something like that?
I'm not sure. But he did
no
with he did it with a stick and the sun. He just, like, measured the shadow in different locations. It was like, yeah, no, it's this big. And then, like, hundreds or thousands of years later, we get the technology to, like, launch satellites up into orbit, and we're like, oh yeah, no, he was right.
And thousands of years later, we have just as many people as before believing in a flat Earth.
Yeah. Honestly, probably, like, gross. We almost definitely have more.
Yeah,
like,
but like
not percentage-wise.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely not percentage-wise, but definitely, like, gross. Just because there's so many more people on Earth than there was in 2,500.
Honestly, probably back then, people weren't asking the questions. They were like, how do I feed my kids? Well, what is the people didn't need to have the
How do I feed the gods?
Yeah. I would love to see, like, whatever, like, Bronze Age Greek Twitter, where, like, people are just like the reply guys to Pythagoras are just
yeah, if you're 25 years old, you're like 2 years old, like, what are you doing on Twitter?
Yeah. So centuries after Xenophanes would come up with this theory that the place he was standing on was an ancient seabed. Leonardo da Vinci also published, or had, like, writings that he actually did not publish, I'm sorry, that he had come to the conclusion. Again, they were both very close to being correct. They didn't know why, but with, like, plate tectonics and the way that the land actually shifts, correct. He was standing on an ancient seabed that had been moved out of the ocean, or the amount of ice on the planet had changed that had drained water directly out of the oceans or in or something like that.
He's
So
running scared.
the ocean had either gone down or where he was in
Move up! Now! Come on and fight us!
We don't know.
I'm gonna make you bleed!
Like, working model of the Pokemon storage where he basically outlined a computer that you could store.
I can't get over there!
Got the, what is it,
Yeah, this is a Vitruvian man. I'm gonna ask you to write that down so I don't forget. Scientist Abu Ali Sina tried to explain why fossils
Get him already! Alright, again!
No, he's in.
Lost your footing. This one's mine! I'll stop every attack! Don't let up! Alright, let's finish this. Move on. We'll root you all out.
Why are you
Cut me.
kind of like this? Which is, again, like, very, like, born in the wrong decade problem. It's like so close. If he was not born, if he didn't die in, like, 1097, he would have known exactly what the fuck it was, right? Like, so close. Fossils form through a process called permineralization, and this is when, like, organic material is buried, covered, and protected, basically. And as it decomposes, it is replaced, like the little gaps as it decomposes is replaced directly with minerals carried by water. So this has, like, give us really, like, super fucking high-res fossils of bacteria or plants. Mineralization or permineralization. But his theory of, like, petrified fossils was, like, absolutely correct, like, correct direction. Did not have on the back because of, 1090. When I die, to be honest, or Jamie.
Yeah. I want that high-res Jamie for the
I know mine. Still.
This was an offering from the Sageberry.
Still.
Her time was considered precious.
Unlike the other guys that I've spoken about, who are like kind of in the right direction, or like kind of on the money, Shenko was climate change is absolutely, and I would like someone to clip that and send it to an oil company where humans and their industries have clearly made things so much money.
I mean, yeah, climate change is the problem. Doing 10,000 years of climate change in 150 years is the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
For the animals time to adapt is the problem.
moving is not a problem, but driving at 500 miles per hour on the highway, that's a problem.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, clip that, send it to Exxon, let it all be their guy. Also, again, like, in theory, what these guys are kind of like strata in his and with the dry now, and bamboo doesn't grow. So, clearly, and he was movement of the continent that like the change in the atmosphere, changes in the atmosphere, and again like how much water is stored in glaciers changes everything on the planet. And again, this was just like some guy working in the 1090s, just had a beat on it and yeah, exactly. Found very old branches and was just like, yeah, no. I got an idea.
No, actually, I think I can solve this problem. If there's too much water, that'll be the problem. Bucket on the end. Yeah, satellite.
When you want to like sail out the planet.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. Yeah,
Like a canoe.
yeah.
It's one foot.
Yeah.
Right?
Shirt cannon, where we just shoot the water straight in the face. Kind of thing. Cool. Yeah, fun.
I mean, what you're saying is less stupid than something Bill Gates, alleged pedophile, recently talked about, which was filling the atmosphere with chalk. Less sunlight.
I mean, that's a real thing, though. I know it's been discussed, like silver filing too. Is kind of one. Like, it brings its own problems, but it would introduce a cooling effect.
Yeah, can you imagine like the paper mache like sludge that would rain down after like a year of blasting chalk in the atmosphere instead of just, like fucking polluting less?
Yeah, that's like the real rub. It's like all these billionaires saying like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. It's like, no. Yeah.
We'll set up every elementary free. Substance blood. Top red. That I guess like hangs off the window like a flower pot.
At this point, they're buying their own. I'm assuming that this would be in lieu of a ring, right?
Did your wife have to?
I picture her talk in these drawers, like in my home. She doesn't that often, but like if she wanted color stuff,
Can't put in a purchase order to this.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyways, those are not our future, so that's we all gotta like pair each other. I know like in like on this one at some point, I had seen a photo that someone posted, or maybe I had seen it on Twitter and reposted it. It was like real time footage of all the
You shouldn't be here!
and it was just like remember it was like oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
I'll totally go.
There's like one billionaire who's going up to northern Quebec. Everyone
Yeah, I think it was like layover in.
Whack.
Yeah, layover in like Newfoundland or something to get the like run. Was my guess when I saw him going down there. I was like, oh, I think he's like cracking around.
The only one not going to be yours in California.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna skip over the not just because we're a bunch of burned out old people who are so sad about the climate. We'll get back to the kind of like we'll get into the Victorian era, very wacky because the medieval science is obviously like like good going champ sort of thing, but it does kind of feel a little bit like patronizing these people for being born 1,000 years ago and like not knowing these things. The Victorian era stuff is great, and it will factor heavily towards the episode. So now that we're done with kind of modern paleontology, we'll get back to Pokemon. The first fossils that gamers encountered are the gnome and the shield. Yeah, more healing. Great. Let up. In Mountain Moon, which is one of the areas the player needs to go through, they'll be given a choice between the two fossils after defeating the Super Nerd, who is just a scientist in a cave, and you kick the shit out of his chest and take his rocks. He still gets like what? Yeah. This is it. To be
fair, the guy he probably did have the rights to both. The fact that he's given you one is pretty good.
So, funnily enough, I didn't mention it, but I watched a video about it earlier. Transfer to the person that owns the land that they were discovered on. So there are certain things like mineral rights or like resources that are not the person that like owns the land. Are owned by the person. Whoever owns that is that.
An ethical fable with a fake mustache and a top.
The dome fossil can be resurrected to a Pokemon called Kabuto, which we talked about earlier. Kabuto is just named after the Japanese word for the helmet, and is like a little kind of like beetle Pokemon based off the still living horseshoe crab and a trilobite. Trilobites are some of the earliest known arthropods, which is a family that still includes like bugs, lobsters, and spiders, and are some of the like, most successful early life on the planet, and he's also some of the non-dinosaur ancestors. Everyone on Earth is very worth from.
That are like they look like bugs, they got like tons of legs, they're like
Yeah.
You guys seen a video that people brought one to a Wendy's?
Okay, so trilobites are dead.
How can we stop the candles from getting
There is an animal
doused?
currently called the
Right, we can use their metal casings to our advantage.
Like that, which is just like basically it's just a giant horrible damp bug. Like it's awful. It's 1,000 moving organic parts and it looks like that all the time. Like,
It's scary.
They're the worst.
I saw one recently that was completely clear. Like you could see through all it. Like if you're underwater, you wouldn't see it, but when it's out of the water.
Well, there's no need to have color in the depot. So animals are either transparent or on the red spectrum because red light can't penetrate that much water. So a lot of those animals, when you pull them up to the light, are bright red or completely red. In the like no purpose having color.
Yeah. Like it's no evolutionary advantage.
Let's got a little.
Well, there actually is an evolutionary advantage. Dark red
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
That's
you're
why I
invisible
went
no matter what.
This was lit as a sign of respect and reverence for the sage buried here.
You're
Jamie's just a skeleton with like this red beard. So trilobites are some of the most successful animals that have ever existed. They were everywhere for almost 500 million years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Exactly. their fossils have been found in the western U.S., in Morocco, and in Siberia. And they scuttled around the seabed eating filthy garbage for millions and millions of years. They are just there, little beetles, and they clean things up. Now, of course, I do want to clarify that, like, because continents move, our idea of, like, wow, Siberia, the western U.S., and Morocco are so far apart. They were in completely different locations at that time, you know, in the 400 million years ago. So that's, like, not truly as impressive, but they are, like, very, very common. I might still have, like, a fossil somewhere in my house. I have no idea, though. About maybe everywhere. Very successful, very good, like, body of land. Very successful land. Caboose called Caboose Tops at level... Yes. Caboose Tops at level 6. Yeah, just
test us on this. I want to see if I can get my blue memory.
I will. Yeah, so, yeah, it's at level 40, sorry. So, like, the next one I'll give you a shot. Kabutops is also based on a trilobite, and also perhaps kind of awful debug. These things we definitely know as sea. You've probably heard that term before.
I haven't. I mean, I've heard the term sea and I've heard the term scorpion, so I can't tell if I'm mixing them up in my head.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that was like a badass gang who like ships around and plunges people with sea scorpion.
Almost. Yeah.
That sounds like a battle tank. Let's be real.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
I will say, I googled sea scorpion just to get an image of what they look like, and the Wikipedia page for your Ripterid was already purple. So clearly, at some point in this show, we've talked about it. Basically.
Unless you were just privately curious about the Eurypterids, it doesn't have to be like catalyzed entirely about like some dumb shit I want to talk about.
No,
right?
but okay, like, the only way I would have googled it on my PC was if we were doing this show. If I was personally curious,
okay.
I would have looked it up on my phone.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, we don't look this up.
For sure, everything. It's like it's almost always on. I mean, unless we're sitting here and just talking about it, like we're either gaming, like I'm gaming with you guys and she's hanging out, or like I'm not at my TV, you know, like, or we're doing this show.
Eurypterids or sea scorpions are slightly more complex, like ancient arthropods. They are still trilobites. They just have a lot more like horrible moving parts. They have like kind of spikes and fangs and a lot of paddles and bits on them. They're also
army knives.
Yeah, exactly. They got a nail file, corkscrew, flashlight. Yeah, exactly. The manual flashlight is also on the Discord. They're pretty horrible looking. They're also fucking huge. Even a small one is like yeah, very good.
I'm like a meter now. How long is a meter now?
A meter is like 3 feet 3 inches or something like that. Yeah.
They're like human size. That's awesome.
They're big ones. Yeah. It's all so like the concentration of water tends to be like complex and small because they suck at breathing. And the oxygen content in our current atmosphere is too low for them to like be any large. So they don't have lungs. Yeah.
Watching something today on the cool fish. There's one fish that had no really sharp bones that were like skeleton in the front. And
So we will talk about Dunkleosteus.
I watched it today! Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah! Okay, good.
That thing does not fuck around. But yes, that animal just like, as it predates the evolution of teeth and does just have like exposed parts of its skull that fit together like sheep.
And it was so okay, I'll talk more about it later. That's so cool that I watched that today, man. That's so cool.
It's also big.
Yeah.
Yeah, your boy's a big fan of that. The Helix fossil, Lord Helix himself, is resurrected into Ammonite, which is based on ancient Ammonite. They just basically spelled it wrong. Ammonites are squid living inside coiled shells, little spirals, Helix. And these animals, Amistar as well, is just a more dangerous looking Ammonite. Most Pokemon evolutions go from the real animal to the cool animal. But like kind of the same thing, and that is the difference between Ammonite and Amistar, is they are just, what if anime artist drew an Ammonite, and then what if a anime artist drew a Ammonite?
Yeah. I mean, Squirtle goes from turtle to turtle with wings on his head to turtle with guns on his back.
Exactly.
Just getting cooler and cooler all the way.
Yeah.
Our description is, I guess, a salamander to a lizard to a dragon. Natural progression. So, Bulbasaur is plant by himself.
Well, it's really like onion flower tree.
Sure. I mean, Venusaur is a big flower. It's not
Mounted on a toad.
yeah, flower on a toad. Flower on a toad's back.
You heard
Turtle
him.
power.
Ammonites existed in some way or another for what is a borderline incomprehensible amount of time, kind of like trilobites. They're found literally everywhere on the
Squirtle
planet.
Power. Shit. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Just cut that back into the old.
Fuck it, yeah.
Cut that into the track. Ammonites were present in Earth's oceans for roughly 335 million years.
Okay, not bad.
They existed before life on land, and went out in a blaze of fucking glory with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What are
Like-
we at, like people?
Well, yeah, okay, so like the earliest proto-humans, like Pete said, was about 200,000 years ago.
Oh,
But like,
Well, that's the same species human. Like, if you want to talk proto-human, like you're talking like between 4 and 3 million years, like something like that.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then if you're talking like modern man, it's like 10,000-ish
Wow.
years. Which is like the invention of farming, basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. We're young, dude. Can you believe that in 10,000 years we did what the Ammonites never could?
Yeah.
Was create the internet, Twitter, and destroy the planet.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Trying. The Ammonites.
So like a lot of marine animals, Ammonites fossilize very well, sometimes in remarkable ways. So you can get like a coiled shell that has like a geode that is formed inside of it. I have the cross section of an Ammonite shell on my TV stand here, which is, it's just rock, but it's very like polished and clean, because whenever it had died, like the minerals that ended up inside its shell were very pretty. Basically, mine looks like kind of like tortoiseshell Ray-Bans. Is the color of the one that I have.
I did look up trilobite fossils for sale, and you can get one for $6. Ammonite fossils seem to be much more.
Yeah, I mean,
in the thousands of dollars for these.
well, like for a big one, mine is this big. Like,
What
like
about-
2.5 inches.
Full body dinosaur. How much is that?
I think Nicolas Cage has bought fossils, so one of you can pull up that clip.
I think it's
Remains of a Zepho soldier.
Also, I think it's
They were
like
killed
on
for
offer
stealing an
also. I don't
offering
think
to the
it's like a
sage.
list price for full skeletons.
I remember seeing one in Ottawa and then finding out it was just like a replica, and then the real one was in the back and it felt ripped off. Full on dinosaur thing.
There's no MSRP on dinosaurs. Sorry.
I googled how much did make T-Rex, and Google was like, how much did you need? How much did T-Rex? Yeah, like that.
Keep it professional.
And $150 million on a skull. So dinosaur skull, 50 heads, 2 European. So I guess it was one sale where he spent $150 million, but between 2 apples, 2 heads, and a dinosaur.
So I want the skull, but I'm throwing 60 heads.
Yeah.
doesn't sound like that much for primarily cats. It feels like the skull and the, I guess like shrunken heads.
Castles are relatively cheap depending on where you get them, because I mean the upkeep is killer, so like they just like lose value unless you're just pouring money into them essentially. And there's a lot. Like there's more than you might think, I guess. If you have Nick Cage kind of money to go around. Sorry, Nicolas Cage.
We can get 10,000 patrons. We will get a Loreboy's castle. We can all come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the surrounding area. We will find you guys.
We will commit to serfdom to live in our castle.
Yeah, it's Paul Corn up to the back.
It's not about time.
Ethan gets to have sex with your wife. Yeah. So in regard to the sorry.
Fine, right, baby. Can't argue with that.
More boys appointed by God.
Yeah.
Currently, similar animals still exist to Ammonite. There's an animal called the non-Olympic. It's modern. Live with the show. They're cute and they're like white and orange. As discovered earlier, there's very little to say about Amistar. The evolution of Ammonite is just the same animal, but like sexed up for teenage boys in
Level 40 as well?
No, that is level 40.
Fun fact about novels. They are the ships that Illithid or Mind Flayers fly around space in the Dungeons and Dragons universe are called noveloids, and they're shaped like noveloids. That's the animal. The shell.
Speaking of names, this is listen to our fucking Illithid episode.
One of the ways to get the light
water intake and below their tentacles, octopi or octopodes have like a jet that they shoot water out of.
out their beak or next to their
It's below their
Nice.
beak.
They're the only
So
thing
the
holding
beak-
that chain
The
together.
beak is within
more
the
than one
tentacle.
hole down the it's just like this other thing.
Yeah, no, it's like dude, girls and squid, they pee out their butts. Like the next fossil in Gen 1 was Aerodactyl. He's unique in Gen 1 because it's not a choice. Everybody gets their like Jurassic Park branded old amber to clone the Aerodactyl, which is a flying reptile.
That was also the last wife that he said had free box.
Old amber.
We've only got the one serve. Okay. Very nice.
Old
I'm
amber.
not gonna refuse my right to it just because she's 85, has no teeth.
Well, you can get yourself a summer and then just head back to the castle. Whatever that's called.
Not everybody got Aerodactyl, because some of us were too stupid to go back to the museum, talk to the scientists, and get the amber, and never knew how to get Aerodactyl when they were kids. Okay, Peter?
I withdraw my statement.
Pewter Town.
Cinnabar Island, isn't it the same place?
No, the
Well,
museums in
Pewter Town is where you get the old amber.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's where you take the old amber out of the museum, of course. No, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I withdraw my statement. Not everybody gets an Aerodactyl.
Everybody gets the opera.
Yes, exactly. I'm voting for the equal Aerodactyl opportunity, not equal opportunity of Aerodactyl. Okay?
Yeah. Let sleeping Aerodactyls lie. That's what I
Yes.
say.
Official Pokemon art, which I did post in the boys, shows that Aerodactyl is based on a Pteranodon, which doesn't really kind of hold water as far as the character design goes. Aerodactyl has a tail and also teeth, which actually just makes it closer to a pterodactyl, which it is named after, at least in English. That being said, both Pteranodon and Pterodactyl are pterosaurs, which we talked about in our Jurassic Park episode, so they commit war crimes. They are reptiles, which are not dinosaurs. They are the time that they serve a different niche. They are not dinosaurs. Are not archipelago.
See what you found?
Wait, what's the first picture?
Yeah,
Okay.
the non-spoiler one. Is you can see Aerodactyl up top, and they're parallel basically between the animals.
I just scroll past all the Kid Rock.
Oh hell yeah!
There are a lot of pictures of Kid Rock in the shot.
I wish he should be wearing such a tall trilby. He would be such like a carnival attraction. So despite being taller than me at 5'11", Aerodactyl is still kind of a bitch motherfucker compared to a species of pterosaur called Asdarchus, who were a real class of animals that include animals like Asdarco and Quetzalcoatlus, which you may have heard of. They're flying predatory
These are the remains of a
animals the
Zephonian,
size of
the
giraffes.
laborer, worked to death.
Very, very big. We will get into some more information about more boring dead animals. Welcome back, everybody. Generation 2 of Pokemon blew up the lab leak theory, basically, on like where dinosaurs came from. And now we need to skip the entire generation and move on to Gen 3, which is Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. In Gen 3, we get a choice between the
Socket is
claw
the same
and
one we saw in the other zoo.
fossils.
Nice catch.
The claw fossil can be resurrected by the Devon Corporation, or Devon, into Anorith. So this is the new guys doing the sci-fi shit that make your ancient animals. They're doing your Jurassic Park work for you. Cinnabar Island, exploded.
And Anorith kind of looks like the isopod we said that Jamie was taken into a Wendy's or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one that he had on the weekend. Design-wise, Anorith is actually kind of interesting among Pokemon, because it is just an unmodified drawing of real animals. If you guys look at the reference image you have, the Anorith and the Anomalocaris look exactly. Those are the first
Ammonite too.
a lot of them do, like it just seems less generalized. Anomalocaris is either Old Italian or Greek for not like other shrimps. Is what that translates to, or like unlike other shrimps.
Grandma's shrimp. Yeah. To say your grandma's Kid Rock shrimp.
I think I'm looking at the wrong. Picture. Where's the Anomalonami?
It's the same picture. The first picture Pete said is all the fossil Pokemon on the left versus their real life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a graph. So X, and like X is Pokemon to real animals.
And archaeologist Pikachu is the center of the Venn diagram, I guess.
Yeah. In your Cartesian plane, it's gonna work. Indiana Pikachu. Yeah. So visually, Anorith looks very much just like a flat shrimp, which is what Anomalocaris was. It's got a bunch of kind of feathery wings coming out of the sides. And their bodies are kind of segmented. In front, they have two big kind of curling, kind of like claws that poke out from underneath their eyes into an awful circular mouth.
Was Anomalocaris also made out of iron tempered with carbon, or is that unique to the Pokemon?
I think that's probably unique to the Pokemon.
Yo, you guys see that magma slug that's also a Pokemon that actually has like Yeah,
Magcargo, sadly. I love Magcargo, but like
I see
I
it.
love Magcargo, but
Spear
Magcargo
powering
is,
that Lancer.
competitive.
Yeah, you know, there's so many cool, so many of the cool Pokemon just get shafted.
Yeah, well, that's like, oh, here's an interesting design, and here's an interesting typing, but like, oops, this generation came out with another ground dragon, which is fucking unstoppable. You're like, okay, Garchomp it is, then.
that red, like, in real life, cool as hell. Even if it's Pokemon count, it's hard to conduct. Like, who's made out of iron? We got some iron, not very much. Not enough
In your blood.
iron in your blood.
The entire plot point in like X2, X-Men United or some shit, whatever that movie's called, where
If we dropped the lantern, I bet it would break open.
No, yeah, the
Hey,
horny
BD.
security guard gets injected with too much iron, and then Magneto can like pulls it out of his blood and turns it into like.
How can we stop the candles from getting
That's
doused?
right. I didn't
Right,
think
we
cool.
can use their metal casings to our advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen an X-Men movie since that one, but like that's what I remember from that film.
Logan was good. All the rest were bad.
Oh, Logan is good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's level 450. So close to half a bill.
Yeah.
It's like they just cheated him of half a billion years ago. You know what I mean?
I know.
459 million? Just call it 500 million.
Yeah.
Scientists, what are you doing? What are you doing to our poor boy?
It seems like so far the fossils evolved late. Like 36 feels like a normal, like that's where you're gonna evolve the last time, but
Well, that's where most starters, except for some reason, there's always one that is at 32 evolve. So like 40 is like a good
Vines?
like that.
They're the only thing holding that chain together.
The home, basically.
I'll say 42.
Ethan,
Socket
you
is
want
the
to,
same one we
I
saw
don't
in
know
the
if
other
you're
Zoom.
gonna roll the video, or
Nice
if you
catch.
wanna take a stab at it.
No, I used Pokemon DP because somebody
I
once
see
told
it.
me that Bulbapedia
There's a
was
spear
kind of
powering
like
that
cursed,
lantern.
So I was like, okay, Pokemon DP works for me. I don't know if that's true. I'm just like throwing shade for nothing out here, but heard it once and that's all the convincing I can keep.
He's like, I don't really care where I get my Pokemon information from. I mean, like, I'll just like, I don't know, like, play it safe. Who cares?
I don't care what you say on Twitter. Whenever I bring you to the nursery, you gotta be a certain gender to breathe. Like, shut the fuck up.
Of all the songs.
I wasn't, but I know for a fact that Amethyst evolves at level 60. Next question, please.
Both wrong. Jamie, closest stuff going over. I know it's Armaldo. And Armaldo also just does sound like a hot Spanish guy at level
40, okay.
Armaldo.
Very little to say about Armaldo, much like on the cover. He is just a cooler looking, like more aggro version of the real animal. He's also Rock Bug, so very decent type. Rock Bug, by the way. Yeah. The heads and tails on James, like whatever the place to get to the boss point, is the boss, which is resurrected Relief, and its evolution, Cradle, which again, guess when does it evolve? Board. This is board.
They evolve into getting a sword and taking up drinking.
Yeah.
Getting a dog challenger. Spoiling your kids on the weekend so their mom have to
Yeah.
Lilief and Cradle are very, very good Pokemon, which my idiot 12-year-old brain did not realize, because there was Bug with Knife Hand versus Plant. And the Plant one is defensively like a very good like defensive lead, competitively, and like very good typing. Cradle is in a higher tier, I believe, than Armaldo is, as far as I know, because it's borderline.
I don't know what Armaldo looks like. I'm picturing AR.
Yeah, you're close actually. It's just imagine the animals I talked about earlier. It's Anomalocaris, but standing. That's what it is. Cranberry and Leaf are unique because they're fossil Pokemon that are based on animals that are like not not even in like the Ammonite Nautilus way. Relief and Cradley are based on animals called sea lilies, which still exist and did not die out. They are 500 million years old and are in the fossil record, but they're just like
You Jedi!
they're very much like a massive predator. They have like kind of these like prawns. Bodies catch small animals, particles. They're very much like passive.
They look like coal.
Yeah, they go through the web and they consume it and frankly are closer to something like a Venus flytrap opposed to an actual sea lily, which is weird because they're resurrected from a root fossil and an animal does not have roots, and they're also grass rocks.
If we dropped
so
the
they're
lantern,
like based
I bet it
on
would break open.
plant life, and their visual design is based on like a flower.
I had a Venus flytrap.
My dad used to have a bunch. Yeah, it was always
Yeah, they're not
It's a
smart.
great pet.
They're not smart enough because, like, I was a kid and I was like, I want to see it eat a fly. I want to see it snap its thing. So I like used an explorator to see if it would like snap at it, and then explore its mouth. It didn't open its mouth like fast enough to be able to get it meal, and it just kind of died. And I made it.
Yeah.
My Venus flytrap, a rubber eraser in the guy.
I wanted to see it snap. Like for some reason in my head, Pokemon would just open its mouth again if it didn't get a meal, right?
Yeah.
But it just
Yeah.
stayed shut, like thinking it's digesting something, and it's slowly open. By the time.
I'm not gonna lie, you are giving that plant a lot of credit. It wasn't thinking anything. Like, my dad used to have he made a little, he didn't dam too, but he had made a terrarium out of like a big water jug that you would like, you know, like a water cooler jug basically. So if you cut off the top, you can like make a little terrarium on the inside to keep it swampy, which is what they need. But yeah, like at his office, he named him Trapper, and would feed him like one little like nug of hamburger on the end of it. That's how he fed it.
Alright. That's an American flytrap. I only eat AAA grade beef.
Yeah, it's an Angus flytrap, not a Venus
Yeah.
flytrap.
I like my beef plant fed and my plant's beef fed.
Exactly. The cycle's complete. And again, someone had told me recently, it's just like, man, Pete, you've got a story for everything, but it's always about your dad. It's like, yeah, and my dad's the Venus flytrap guy, too. He's just a weird man. Right, so anyway, moving past that, we are almost done here. We're almost done with class. In Generation 4, so after Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are the first time dinosaurs are represented in the Pokemon record. Everything prior to this has been some much older or stranger animal, or in the case of like Gravely, like I said, just like
And I know you said pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs, but like I'm gonna give that one. Well, I think Aerodactyl kind of represents dinosaurs a little bit.
wrong, but yeah, sure.
I mean, a little bit at least.
It's as one that we had.
Nobody thinks pterodactyl like actually not a dinosaur, but a pterosaur. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think there was a
I
pterodactyl.
think that.
We were back. That's the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was one. Dinosaurs too.
Way before time.
Petrie.
I say it every time we talk about it.
Wait, Spike says Ducky, not
Oh, you're right. Ducky. So one time we said every Ducky.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe on this show is we're just like have to correct each other, misquoting the Land Before Time.
Oh, that's
Seven.
right. I guess the flying dinosaur wouldn't be a problem when he fell off the cliff, right?
No,
He's
yeah,
just
it's
flying.
like, yeah, Ducky gets knocked off of something, and her adopted stepbrother Spike, the disabled Stegosaurus, is the first time he talks.
Yeah, he's mute. He's at least
Ducky.
mute.
Yeah, yeah. He's kind of like the crew dog, though.
He's
which is-
awesome.
Which is weird when you think about the fact they're all kind of like young animals, and they have a dog, but he's just like a different young animal.
He's not a dog.
It's like-
He's just a cool bro that just doesn't say anything. He hangs out. He's like, whatever, I'm Spike, dude.
It's very Goofy and Mickey's dog Pluto vibes, right?
Yeah, I mean I was gonna say it's weirder. That's much weirder because like Goofy has a job and drives a car, and he
Yeah.
keeps like a different guy in
Goofy-
a cage.
Goofy is no, so Goofy doesn't. Mickey has a dog, but Goofy and Mickey are like
yeah.
best friends, right?
Yeah.
So it's like imagine you just went to your best friend's place and he had like, and like the design of Pluto and Goofy is like super similar too. Like
The
they
same,
just make them look different, right? So it's just like just has like a person.
Last
as
time
a
I went
pet.
to Ethan's
It's
place,
play, I guess.
last time I went to Ethan's place, he had like a 30-year-old Scottish person living in a little house behind us. Yeah, looked just
I mean,
like me, but yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Oh no! Don't
Angus
open
was
the sliding
nice.
door.
Yeah, Angus was nice. I mean, he got a little angry when I was screaming on him, but whatever.
That's what you can look forward to in the Lore Boys plot of like in our fiefdom that we would never fly in England or whatever. So in Gen 4, the fossils that you can bring back to life are the armor and the skull fossils that are the Orberg mining museum. This is where things kind of get like less interesting. So like I do apologize in advance if some of
Hi,
these are your
BD.
favorite Pokemon. They're not that.
Want to look inside?
Okay. Yeah,
What's
I mean,
that,
it's like we all know a ton of shit about dinosaurs because they're very common and die on continents where it's like civilization basically. So it's like, oh yeah.
Dinosaurs. I only know about pterosaurs, Peter. Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. I don't want to have this fucking fight again.
Oh man, I hate when mom and dad fight.